Alright, we'll finally get back to doing a model review here. We've got the Bobcat S750 skid steer made by Ertl in 1/50th scale. And for an Ertl piece, it's almost like it's not an Ertl piece. It's pretty amazing, actually. I'm really impressed. There's still a couple things that they could have done a little bit better, but for the most part, this is a great little piece. They still didn't figure out how to paint the rivets. But, you know, I mean, you can do that on your own. I mean, it's a great little piece. The dump height on this thing is finally somebody figured out how to properly engineer a skid steer, because look at this. It will actually clear and dump into a matte granite, or you know, other 1/50th scale trucks. It won't reach the Sword East dump trailers. That's a little bit disappointing, but those are also pretty high off the ground. So, but very impressive that somebody for a decent price, nonetheless, has figured out how to properly engineer a skid steer. It's got a nice little digging depth on it for back dragging. The wheels and the tires have great tread on them. Overall, just a great piece. There's not a whole lot to show here because it's so small, and it's a bigger skid steer. But they did a great job on the graphics. Very impressive. The lap bar that you can see there in the center of the frame actually does work. I'll show you that before we're done. I mean, just excellent graphics. Very clean. I'm not a huge Doosan fan, especially, and since, you know, Doosan bought out Bobcat a couple of years ago. But this is a really nice little piece, and it's actually a pretty nice looking skid steer too, to boot. I mean, it's overall, we needed a decent 1/50th scale skid steer. And you guys might have seen the little rant that I had about motor art the other night. It really concerns me that the pieces that they're going to do for New Holland this year aren't going to turn out very well at all. So it's nice to have this as a backup. If those don't turn out very well or don't turn out at all, it'll be nice to have this skid steer. I only have one right now, but I plan on getting quite a few more of them. I've seen pictures of the E35. I think it's the E35. And that looks like it's not quite as nice of a piece. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't quite look as nice. So I don't know if I'm going to get that or not. I'm going to get a little pointer, maybe. I just had, yeah, there we go. I'll try to do this from the back so that you might be able to see it. Well, actually, I'm going to have to do it from the front. But the lap bar goes all the way down to the seat and comes all the way back up to the roof. Isn't that cool? How neat is that? That's like something you usually see on a Sword piece. Sword TWH piece. So, that's very impressive. Whoever, Ertl, Tommy, whoever came up with that, deserves a lot of credit. I mean, that was a great idea. But, everything seems to be scaled pretty well, even the exhaust. You know, and the vertical lift pattern, they've got that tiny little handle there and the boom on the front. Again, the rivets aren't perfect, but I mean, overall, you can't ask for much more. There's basically nothing on the bottom, but most skid steers, I mean, there's not like there's a drive shaft or anything on them. So the mesh, even though it's plastic, you can see through it. It's pretty decent for what it is. I mean, and again, the handles even on the front of the cab are pretty well modeled and pretty well scaled. The bucket's great. And before I finish the review, I'm going to get something real quick. I bought this little Homobo road saw at the open house, at the DHS open house. And this little road saw goes very well in the bucket of this skid steer. It's like perfect for each other. So I just thought I'd throw that in there and show you guys. There's not, I can't really review the road saw because there's basically nothing to review. But it's a great little accessory piece, and it looks great with the skid steer. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. But that's about it for this review. There'll be plenty more coming. I just got to get back going, and so stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.